everybody, and welcome to the DJ and Wedding Planner podcast. I am your host, Carmen Davila, with Events by Carmen.
And I'm Tony the Hitman with Infinity Sound Production. Welcome back to our podcast, episode number 2 of season number 2, baby. We're back. Hope you guys enjoyed that first episode. And what's the topic today, Carmen?
So today we're going to talk about working together. Tony and I specifically, not
this is going to be good.
Couples. This is just a Carmen and Tony working together episode. I mean, we're going to have a lot of those, but I think it was important to chat about the dynamics of working together, because I get so many people that are like, you're so lucky that you get to work with your husband. And yeah, it's fun. But, before we start, number one, I do want to make sure that we clarify that we both own 2 separate companies, right?
Yes.
Tony, you own obviously
Infinity Sound Production. A lot of people think that she helps me run it or coordinate or, I don't know, logistics. That's all me.
It's all him. However, hold on 1 second. I handle a lot of stuff with our children.
Oh, but we're talking about the company here.
So with that said, I've been able, right? You've been able to focus a lot more on the business side, because I've been able to handle a lot of stuff with the kids, especially when they were younger. Now it's been a little bit more of a balance.
Yes.
So I was behind the scenes a lot because I was, raising children.
Yeah, right.
So I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
You were raising our family. Now you're doing more of the traveling. So you're traveling, you're doing your thing, and I'm helping more with the kids. Yes.
Okay, so to get back on track, I own Events by Carmen, and that's obviously my planning company. So I just wanted to make sure, people all the time say, oh, you guys have a great company. Yes, Tony has his company, Carmen has her company. And on occasions we work together, and it's amazing. I love to work with Tony. But there's times where I want to strangle him, and I'm sure he wants to strangle me. And we just wanted to talk about the dynamics and, some pros and cons about working together as a couple.
As a husband and wife, yes. There's one that I won't live down, but we'll talk about that in a few.
We will talk about that in a few. And, we can always talk about, we can start with all the positive stuff, and I think working together, at least on my, I'm a person that admits that there's times where I'm like, thank God I'm working with my husband, because I know that, things are going to be great. Everything's going to be on point. I know I can trust the guys. I know that you have my back. And that's something that, I don't take for granted at all. My sister says, and this is hilarious, because I am going to quote what my sister says. And she's like, when we work with Tony's team, they do a really good job because the guys are scared of you. And I was like, they're scared of who, me? I feel like I'm so nice.
They are.
Are they really scared of me?
I wouldn't say scared, but I think the word is respect. They know that you're no bullshit.
I'm not. Yeah, that's true.
That's a word. Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? I expect a certain type of quality for everything, right? Everything I do, when I work with my clients, the delivery of things, the final product, I have a certain standard, right? Mm-hmm. For what I want my clients to receive.
Absolutely.
And, when things are not going the way that I want, you might get a little crazy, because I know sometimes and I know that you talk about me to my sister, because you're like, here she goes. It's crazy Carmen. Or I don't even know what you guys call me. Because you guys have this thing that you do behind my back.
I don't do anything. No, you have, when you're in wedding mode, you're you're like the lieutenant, you're like the guard. You're going 100 miles an hour. And you're I think, and granted, you take it very serious, and of course, but I feel like you don't have fun till everything is done, and maybe the late night snacks are coming out.
Okay. Wow. First of all, it's not my job to have fun. That's number one.
But you gotta enjoy it. You gotta enjoy what you do.
I do enjoy what I do, but I'm there to make sure my clients have fun, and everything that they want for their day is accomplished they're walking into their vision and all the things, right? So yeah, maybe I'm a little uptight on wedding days, and I will admit it, because I'm not walking around all like happy, joy. But at the same time, it's because I'm in charge of a big event and I want to make sure that everything goes right. And then I have vendors sometimes that are like, or something's going wrong. And
of course.
I have a lot of pressure that day.
There's a lot of vendors that are special, and I understand there's people that take up a lot of your patience, because I even deal with them sometimes. But I guess in my shoes as a DJ, it's different because I got to bring the fun. So if I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, you're going to be able to tell that on the dance floor, the music, the energy. So I guess, obviously it's important to us. Everything needs to be perfect, but we're also there to have a good time with the couple to make sure that everybody enjoys themselves. So as a DJ, we want to be happy. We want to be enjoying what we're doing. I always tell my guys or my DJs, if you had issues at home or if you're having problems, leave them at the door. When you walk in that door, you got to it's almost like an actor. You got to, put on that happy face and enjoy what you're doing. Because if you're miserable, everybody else is going to know that you're miserable.
Which brings up a really good point, because sometimes when you're working with your spouse and if you're having some sort of like internal issues, like if you're in a fight and it happens, like sometimes you and I will get into an argument and like I need something for a client and I'll be very professional because I have no boundaries. So instead of texting you, I'll send like an email and I'll be like, this for the client, not even hi, So I get that it affects, it does affect people.
Of course it does, absolutely.
You're so hilarious, though. We don't fight a lot, guys. It's it's very minimal.
Yes.
Our fight.
No, we have a really good relationship. Our kids even say it. I mean, we'll disagree on things, but we're not one of those people that have screaming matches at each other. And,
no, I don't have the energy for that. I don't. All my energy is taken away by my clients.
Oh yeah.
Just kidding. I love them all. No. I'm just kidding. So let's talk about that. Okay,
Yeah.
so a little bit of pros and cons. Okay, so I think my pros of working with my darling husband is that you have my back.
Absolutely,
The team
100%.
is on point. If I have an issue, and I've had many, and we're going to discuss that, it gets solved.
Yeah.
It's the truth, right?
I mean, things happen, It
of
just
course.
how good you take care of them.
No, absolutely. So I love that. I love those pros. I mean, I recently did a wedding where, and this is my oversight, and I remember I was like, oh my God, we are missing charger plates. And I'm like, what do I do? I mean, there's always going to be a solution. Like if we have to run out and get the charger plates from a rental company, we're going to do that. And I was like, oh my God, how did we forget to add these, the charger plates for these last minute additions? And I remember I'm like, Tony, I need 3 charger plates. I was like, actually, I need 4. And you were like, you're so lucky that I haven't sold those charger plates yet.
They're all gone, by the way.
Yeah, they are. Oh, damn. I'll have the guys take them to you. So I remember I was like, oh my God, thank God. I was like, okay, Tony's got my back. Like, I'll get the charger plates. So like those things are awesome because I know that, no one else has my back like my husband does. You know what I mean? Like, so in reality, I get that. But with
or when you needed uplights at events or,
okay.
I mean, the list could go on and on, but.
So that's true because a lot of my clients, they get a little bit more of like special treatment because, I'll be like, I need more uplights. Or I remember that one time recently, I was so annoying. I think you guys were doing moving heads or something. And then I remember I was really annoying. And I'm like, well, I think I need more. And the guys were like, well, your thing just says 2. Tony said to bring 2. And that's all you had in your contract. And I was like, I didn't ask you guys. Or I was like, I didn't ask that. I was like,
Carmen,
I want more. Go back and get another one from the warehouse, And they were probably like, I don't want to curse, but they were probably like, this bitch is crazy. And they did. And I appreciate that they went back. But with that, I mean, we've had some experiences where as much as I love Tony, and I want to quote my sister.
Oh, she even brought cards out for this.
I did, because I was having a conversation with my sister, and she says some of the cons about working with Tony, the hitman, Hernandez. Cynthia says, he thinks he's a planner. And I'll let you defend yourself in 2 seconds. Tell Cadet Kelly he needs to stay in his lane.
Cadet Kelly.
She said that. My sister is hilarious. So I'm just letting you know. That's what stuff that Cynthia said.
What?
And I was like, you know what? He does sometimes think he's a planner. So I'm going to let you defend yourself on that because I think you do get a lot of planners who are like, oh, the DJs want to run the timeline and they want to do this and they have way too much input. And I get it. And I see both sides because I always know your side as well. Like I sit back and I say, okay, listen, I think of like a DJ because I'm married to one. I think of production because I'm married to someone that does that. But I'm going to let you defend yourself because yes, that comes up where we're like, why do you think you're a planner? Tell us.
Well, it's not that I think I'm a planner. So, I mean, I've been in the industry, as you guys know, for over 20 years. Obviously, when I started at first, there was no planners. It was the DJ and whoever the captain at the venue was basically running the show, you know. And still happens today where the captains will come to me and go, oh, what's a timeline? And they'll double check with me the order of the events, the order of the dances, when the speeches are happening to make sure that they have the champagne. Because, I mean, obviously when you have a planner on site, the planner's, you know, running the timeline and making sure that everything's running. But essentially the DJ is the one running the order at that point. And when I mean the order, I'm talking about once the guests walk into the room and we're starting either a quince or a wedding and we're starting introductions through the dances up to speeches into dinner, you know? So, you know, it's not that I think I'm a planner, but I always like to just make sure everything is running correctly. And the other side of that is we work with a lot of different planners. And I've seen amazing planners that know how to run the events and are on point and have everything on their timeline that needs to be on the timeline. And I've had planners where they don't even have the dances in the timeline. So we get both sides. I've had planners that sit in a chair while the intros are going and is nowhere running making sure that the bride and groom are walking in, that the bridesmaids are walking in, that the order is correct. They're sitting in a chair. So it's not that I think I'm a planner. It's just I like to make sure that everything's on point because at the end of the day, yes, you're running it, but if something messes up, it still comes back at me. You know, if the names were wrong, if the order was wrong, if we played the wrong song at that moment, if instead of, there's couples that change it, instead of doing the first dance first, they do the father-daughter dance first. That doesn't happen a lot, but it happens in certain religions. So as a DJ, you got to make sure that all those things are on point. And like I say, I work with amazing planners that are on point. And I literally can sit back and I don't even got to put the people in order. Yeah. Okay. And then I have planners that I honestly have to pick up that slack to make sure that I'm doing my job correctly.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I get that. I totally get that. And with that said, we're going to talk about something that still to this day annoys me. And I'm just going to bring this up because you're not the only DJ company. I mean, the only DJ that's done this to me. There was another DJ, and I'm not going to say that company's name. And I'll never forget sitting down at the Ritz-Carlton Key Biscayne, and myself and the photographer and the videographer were sitting there. We were eating, and all of a sudden, he starts one of the parent dances.
No way.
Yeah, because we were opening the dance floor with a parent dance, and we were like, oh, what? After we had told him we were going to go on a break, and my assistant runs in, and she's like, oh, my God. And I was like, no. We literally all ran out, which was terrible. And he didn't even talk to us about that, which sucked. But whatever, we're not gonna throw that person under the bus. However, Tony, the Hitman Hernandez, since you are sitting here with me.
Tell me. Go.
I did a wedding with you. And you had the nerve. Okay. We took our vendor break. We're checking on everybody. You ate your food really fast because I don't know what it is about you DJs. You guys eat your food in 30 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's that we're all of a sudden we sit down to eat and they'll come up to us. Either they want to do a toast, they want to do additional speeches, or they're ready to open up the dance floor.
Yeah. So we're sitting there eating, and all of a sudden I hear the music. And I hear music like it's dance music. And I was like, oh, no, he didn't. We still have to do cake, okay? And I'm going to tell you guys something. I am big. I'm not a psychopath. Well, I'm a little bit crazy, but I'm not a psychopath about the timeline to the point where there's flexibility, guys. Like, if a bride wants to do something at a certain time, I'm like, okay, let's see if it makes sense. Cake cutting for me, I like to not bother my couples during the night. So I ask that we cut the cake before we open the dance floor. And people will fight me on this. And I'm like, do you want to look hot and sweaty and drunk in your pictures and in your video while you're cutting your cake? The answer is no, because if the answer is yes, then you're crazy too. So I always say we're cutting. I don't have to serve your cake because you guys will fight me. They're like, I know, because we don't want. I'm like, girl, we don't got to serve the cake. Okay. We just need to cut it because you don't look crazy yet. So we're going to cut the cake. So homeboy over here, it starts the party. He starts the party. The lights are different. Okay, now my photographer, my videographers, you guys all understand what I'm saying. When they start to change the lights and it's that crazy dance lighting, at that point, like, who wants the pictures of the cake cutting with those lights? So I got into Carmen mode and I was like, who told you to open the dance floor? Not
drill sergeant.
But I didn't make a scene or anything, guys. Like, I probably went up to him and I was like, you are dead tonight. No, I'm just kidding. But, we had that conversation and I was upset because, like, hello, I'm the one running the show at that point and then this guy had the dance floor open. Now, I was upset and his response was.
So here's what happened. Let me set up the scene for my fellow vendors and DJs out there that are listening to the podcast. So I'm having dinner. We're all sitting at the vendor table. We're all eating, and I eat pretty fast. So I walk into the ballroom, and as I'm walking into the ballroom, there's, I would say, about 5 to 8 to 10 couples dancing. I was jamming. I guess my playlist for dinner was that great that I had people already dancing without even DJing yet. So I walk in and I'm like, all right, people are already dancing, they're vibing. Everybody's done eating in the ballroom. The vendors are eating next door. So I just continue to vibe. I play another song. And when I hit that next song, which is about the same tempo, I can't remember the other song I played, literally the dance floor got packed. So I'm like, all right. So I just kept going.
But why'd you change the lights? Why didn't you text
me? I mean, the lights. It's all I do is hit the button in the computer.
You could have not hit the button.
I can switch them back. It's not that hard. Just come back in and say, "Hey, put the lights back so I can take pictures with the cake." It's really not that hard, I know it's not that hard. I don't got to go around and switch every light.
But you're not following instructions. The planner is the boss.
I understand the planner might be the boss, but
it might be the boss.
But at the end of the day, the event was asking for something a little different, So I was vibing with the guests at that point. I even believe the couple was even on the dance floor at that one.
Right, but they were supposed to be cutting their cake. So then I had to
but
take
they
the
were
poor
dancing.
couple from the dance room. I'm like, come with me.
But that's not my fault.
We are going to
How
cut
is
your
it
cake.
my fault that when I walked in the room, people were already dancing? I wasn't even in there. So I just continued the vibe.
Okay.
So that's my, yes, I know the planner, wait for the timeline. Trust me. I even have planners now that know that story. Don't open my dance floor,
That is true.
So, but at the end of the day, I get it. And you know this. You know that the timeline is one thing, right? That's what we all want it to be,
right?
Right. But at the end of the day, things happen. Things happen, and things have to switch.
No, and I'm flexible.
There's events that run late. And we have to make up for it.
100%.
And in this instant, the guests really wanted to start dancing.
Okay. That's fine. We're not gonna ever see eye to eye in that situation. So I'm gonna put that as a con of working with your spouse.
Why don't you guys comment below and tell us what you think?
Who's right?
I don't think
DJ or the planner.
It's not about being right or wrong. I just think it's it's a perspective. But we want to hear what you guys think.
Yeah. Let us know.
Put the comments on IG and on YouTube. Comment below and let us know what you guys think about this topic.
Yeah, about working with your spouse and the lack of boundaries sometimes and all the good stuff.
About
right?
opening the dance floor.
About opening the dance floor. I mean, listen, I give him a lot of crap because I'm also one of those people. I have zero boundaries, guys. And if you're a vendor, you know that you'll get a text from me sometimes really late at night, and I'm like, don't answer it now. But if I don't text you, I'll forget. Or I'm one of those people that I act like I'm 22, and I'll ask you a question, and I expect a response right away. So I know it drives you crazy when I'm like, honey, you're watching TV. I'm like, honey, for this wedding, I need or what are you doing for this? Or how many
I
vendor
ignore
meals do you
her.
need for that wedding?
I ignore you.
I know. He really does.
I do.
And I'm like,
I'm not in
no,
work
you know
mode.
what
You know what it
bothers me?
is for me? I have boundaries. And when I'm home, I'm laying down, I'm watching TV, I'm chilling. I'm not in work mode.
I have zero boundaries.
Yeah, she does not have
don't
any
have any
boundaries. I have zero boundaries. I mean, even when she texts me, I'm like, email me. I don't.
Okay, that really bothers me that he tells me that because it really irritates me when you're like, email me. Or like the other day you were like, but did you email me? And I was like, dude, I texted you.
I understand, but here's my maybe this is where I show my age, and I'm kind of old school. Is what happens is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? People text me, and those text messages go into text message cloud, right? So then on Monday, I have to sit there through my phone and go back all the way to like Friday morning and go one by one looking for text messages and stuff. Like people text me like playlists, and I tell my clients, please email me. That's why we have a portal. Like, because it's, I get hundreds of texts
No,
a day.
I get
and it's
that.
hard. I like to keep things organized, and text messages to me, it's not organized.
Well, I do have clients sometimes that they'll text me stuff for you, and then I'm just like, I'm not his secretary. Like they're like, oh, can you tell Tony? And I'm like, whoa, like I'm not your secretary. Like I need you guys to like not do that to me. Like what's going on here?
Here's the playlist for Tony.
Oh, all the time, and I'm just like, por favor, like email the man.
Por favor, señora, mándaselo a su correo.
Well, it was a pleasure. Anything else that we're gonna tell our amazing audience?
But
today?
that's it. No,
That's
come
it.
on. We
Like,
have more.
Yeah, more stories. That's
Yeah.
gonna be for the next episode.
Oh, okay.
I think that's for the next episode.
I was enjoying this.
We gotta keep this spicy.
All right.
We gotta keep it spicy.
All right. Well, guys, hope you guys enjoyed episode 2 of season 2. Make sure you guys follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on IG, the DJ and Wedding Planner Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Bye.